Campaign Accelerator that we have coming up. Going to be a really big program that we're going to be talking to folks. Well, it's actually kicking off on Tuesday. Monday's the last day to register. And want to just do a quick kind of recap what it is and kind of the, not just the like what it is, but the why it is. I'm going to share my screen real quick just so we have that up on the screen and it's not, just looking at my face talking. So, the Digital Campaign Accelerator is this really big program that I've put together kind of after years of thinking. When I look out at the digital landscape, I see a lot of organizations running through tactics and hoping that those tactics add up to change, right? And it happens for a number of reasons. One is just kind of how we've structured leadership, how we've structured digital, and the rapid evolution of digital, and that it's not stopping. The evolution's not stopping, right? The expectations are morphing on a bi-monthly. We were talking recently with someone, we had this really stable period of kind of digital through 2020, and it was this really interesting, pretty stable period. And it wasn't just COVID, it was actually a number of digital factors were leading up to it, and they all combined to make this pretty radical shift in digital and kind of how things were working. And I'm gonna take the screen share back off for a minute, and I realized I left the that live stream, the restream live stream thing up there, but we'll ditch that real quick. Testing some stuff in the studio, but I think it's really important to know that like digital's not just evolving, but we're not keeping pace, right? And so these two things are happening concurrently, and there's not enough folks in leadership that have digital experience, right? And we're also not developing internal systems for digital strategy. And so I see a lot of folks doing tactics related to marketing campaigns or things that they want to do, instead of starting from the beginning and actually thinking through a holistic digital strategy, one that kind of really starts with kind of base strategy and kind of moves forward and applies that to the organization, right? What I often see is kind of requests happening and us moving through those, right? And I'm still trying to push that culture change. Like I want us to move and change that culture. And that's kind of the genesis. It's not even kind of, it is the genesis of this course is really in this program. It's helping folks think through these things and, starting with this base of the fundamental piece of digital strategy, right? So talking about the digital engagement cycle and that strategic planning and feedback are really critical pieces in this, and that we really have to be thinking about these things in really, really critical ways. And let's just go full screen for those of you, if folks are watching and curious about this. Then we're gonna jump into the 3 pillars. We did a free webinar on this recently. You can check that out. If you're watching the stream, it's related. It's somewhere else on the stream on Facebook or LinkedIn. You can catch that again. Talking about smart goals and then strategic planning. So actually going through some planning guides. And one of the things I want to see organizations do more, and kind of the idea behind this is not just for your digital folks. This is for your communications teams, folks working on campaigns, on issues, however your organization thinks about people working on programs and departments. I want them in here because I want them to be thinking about when it's time to launch the new program, when it's time to do a fundraising drive, a volunteer drive, when it's time to put pressure on local elected officials. You'll have this base and this common knowledge to talk about. And then we're going to talk about audiences, doing campaign target research. Who do I need to influence? Identifying, understanding your audiences. What I see a lot of organizations do is just put content out on their channels, right? And decide that like, oh, our email list and our Facebook and maybe our YouTube, if we have it, are fine. That's how we're going to reach folks, right? And that's probably unrealistic. You're probably not reaching your target audiences if you're stopping there, right? And there are a number of things we need to think about here in kind of our channel strategy. And this is elements like working with influencers, working with partners, doing paid ads and paid media, and kind of the things that really drive digital reach in 2023 and 24. And then we're going to talk about communications and narrative strategies for change. So again, I see a lot of organizations putting up content, and if they have a consistent messaging, it all looks so similar that it's probably not breaking through. and then we're not using enough story and emotions to drive action. They're all of the data says story and emotions drive action. And I want to help folks kind of reframe around that and actually make it a consistent part of what they're doing. And then we're going to talk a little bit about creative strategy and logistics, just kind of get more into creative design, keeping design really at the center of how we think about our digital work, and then building budgets, right? Like these are just kind of just this real practical stuff that I want folks to know about. And then evaluating your campaigns. I think this is really critical. Talking about analytics for the campaign, setting up good reporting, working with outside agencies, and all throughout this, we're going to do a lot of feedback. Like this is one of the parts I'm really excited about is the first 4 sessions over 2 weeks. And these are big block sessions, right? We're going through this campaign framework, elements of building a digital plan, communications and narrative creative strategy. But then we take a little break, or we don't take a break. Then we move to Thursdays and we do these 3-hour blocks that are part session, part feedback. So folks can start working on plans of things that they're going to be working on and get feedback from your instructors and other folks in the cohort, and really kind of working through this as a team. And so what we really want is folks to come in and kind of engage together and really help move that needle, right? My hope is that we can move this needle and start moving your organizations forward in a way where we're thinking about a digital strategy in a cohesive way, where we're not just thinking about, oh, I need to send an email for that program, or I need to do this, but that there is a consistent arc and drumbeat for that program, for that campaign that you're running. This is kind of step one in a number of programs we're going to be rolling out over the next year or two to really help accelerate organizations and campaigns, right? Like with the fierce urgency of now, right? So many of our issues can't wait. And we want to make sure that your digital strategy is aligned to that, and that you're making critical decisions about resources and strategy that actually help you kind of get towards your goals. So, just want to say thanks. If you took a minute to watch this, you can follow up in the comments. You can always reach me, Brad, at centerfordigitalstrategy.com, and happy to kind of give you some more info over email, or if we need to do a call, whatever it is. I want to be here for you to help move your organization